It's time for Key Collector's Key of the Weeks for the week of February 21st, 2024, and we're going to see the top 5 books to pick up this week from Key Collector. So without further ado, let's get into it. At number 5 this week, we have The Crying Boy #1. Now, this is a horror book, and it is about a demon that lives in a painting, it lives in a house that comes out and scares children. Now, judging by the cover, that is an awesome cover. I have not yet to pick this up yet, but I do enjoy horror comics, and this one has an interesting premise. And Keen Spot, not really familiar with the company, but I don't think they release anything very often. So, this one's an interesting one, and if you like horror, I think it's definitely worth picking up, especially for that cover alone. But yeah, I didn't hear much about it, but I don't even know if much people picked it up, but look at that. I mean, I think it's well worth it. So yeah, this one seems really interesting. I'm gonna have to go pick this one up. Number 4 this week is Spider-Boy #4, which has the first appearance of Boy Spider, which I believe that's him right there on the cover. So this one has a first appearance, and first appearance for Marvel, as you know, can be hit or miss. But the Spider-Boy series as a whole has been pretty okay. It's been much better than the Amazing Spider-Man title, so I would recommend reading this over that. But with a new character spec, it's worth maybe to pick up this issue, just to check it out. It is one of Key Collector's Pick of the Weeks this week. However, the other pick might be a little more interesting to pick up, but you can't go wrong with a first appearance, especially at the $4.99 or $3.99 price point. And this issue this issue is a good read, so I would probably go pick it up. At number 3 this week, we have Spawn number 350, the record-breaking issue of Spawn. Now, Spawn has been around since the 90s, and 350 is a huge milestone for a indie comic. And Spawn has, really has momentum, hasn't died. There's a lot of spin-off series here. A lot of people like to pick it up for the cover art, the story. Todd McFarlane's one of the best creators out there, so it's definitely worth picking this one up. And it is one of the Key Collector Pick of the Weeks. And I think this one's better to pick up than the Spider-Boy one, just because it's Spawn. It's well established. And this storyline ends the ruler of hell, so you'll find out who rules hell in this issue. Plus, it's a great cover. There's also a couple variants. We also got the Todd McFarlane variant there. This variant is, I'm not sure who that one is. Brett Booth, maybe. That's Brett Booth, and then that's Ryan Stegman. So we have the Todd McFarlane variant up here, Ryan Stegman in the middle, the Brett Booth, and then we also have, this variant, and we also have the Todd McFarlane, whiteout one. Now, there is also a thank you variant, which I don't think is out yet. I think it's delayed, but Todd McFarlane's doing one per store. It's signed. It's already going for like $500-600 on eBay, so that one is definitely worth picking up. But, any one of these covers are cool to pick up. You can't go wrong with the Spawn book, and plus the story is usually always good, so I would say definitely pick this one up. Number 2 this week is Edge's Spiderverse #1, in particular the one per store variant. Now, Key Collector already has this going for $40, and if you remember from Kid Venom a few weeks back, people tend to get these issues because there's only one per store and there's a rarity behind it. Now, the Edge's Spiderverse series is a hit or miss. Some stories are good. It's like, if you're not familiar, it's a whole bunch of short stories about certain Spider-Man characters. This one has the first appearance of a Wolverine-type Spider-Man that hunts Wolverine, and I heard decent things about it, but the other stories are just eh. I am not particularly a fan of the Edge of Spider-Verse, especially I think it's overplayed. In the beginning it was interesting, but we have so many different Spider characters. I mean, it's not really, it's like it gets boring at a point. However, I put this at number 2 because I think it's good to pick up this cover, especially because it is one per store, and that alone has spec value. And it's a pretty awesome cover too. So I would say if you can pick up this cover, definitely pick it up. And you might enjoy a few stories here and there, but yeah, definitely pick this cover up. But number 1 this week, and it's an easy pick for me, is Ultimate Spider-Man #2. I read this issue, and I'm even more blown away than issue number 1. This issue was absolutely fantastic. I can't believe two issues in, and this comic has not lost momentum. Hopefully it can keep the momentum for 5 issues, but usually after issue 1, some of the comics, they don't retain the momentum. But man, this was absolutely fantastic. I loved everything about it. Peter Parker has a new suit in it, so that may be some spec value there. It's a pretty awesome suit too. So, and also, the first issue went for a lot of money, and this one is going not as much, but there's still a little bit spec behind it. So I think definitely, this is more of a story buy than a spec. and I love reading comics more for the story than the spec. So I have this one at number 1 this week because Ultimate Spider-Man is just one of the best comics around. There's not many comics that are better than it right now. I would say maybe Transformers is maybe just as good, if not better, but this one is just for Marvel Comics. This is it. If you're going to buy one Marvel comic that's been coming out in 2024, I suggest Ultimate Spider-Man. It's just fantastic. It's like a ongoing what if Peter Parker became Spider-Man as an older adult. I just love the premise. It blows at any Spider-Man title out of the water right now, and easily always going to be the pick of the week for me. So if you haven't read this, or if you haven't started reading it, I definitely recommend picking this up. It's the number 1 pick this week. It is fantastic. You will not be disappointed. So that ends the pick of the week this week, or the keys of the week this week, with my top 5. Let me know if you agree, or if you think that there's another one worthy for the top 5, and I will see you next week for another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.